Hi, plant and begonia friends. Today I thought I would talk to you about my terrariums of begonias. I have over 500 begonias and they're my favorite plant. Today I'm going to talk about my terrariums. First of all, my terrariums are not true terrariums. They're more of a contained atmosphere. I leave the plants in little pots so I can easily move them when they outgrow their glass container, move them to a bigger one. You can't show your terrariums in any kind of judge show like this, but I don't care. I'm not showing my begonias. So just to make it easier and able to move them around more, I leave them planted in a small pot. And sometimes I'll put moss on the bottom or stones on the bottom. There's another reason to grow begonias in terrariums or contained atmosphere. It's because if you live in a place where you can't leave your plants out during the winter, like back east on the East Coast or Midwest, it's fun to have a place in your house that you can grow plants and play with them all winter long. And that's what a lot of the people on the East Coast that grow begonias do. They love their terrariums because they can enjoy them year round. I live in Southern California, so a lot of my begonias are outside. I'm lucky that way. I don't have to bring them in. But my terrariums are inside because they need a little extra care. Most of them are species. So I think I'll start talking about them one by one and let you know what kind I have. First begonia I'm going to talk about is begonia buttercup. This is an easy one to grow. It's very cute. It gets little tiny yellow flowers, hence the name buttercup, I assume. I think it's a Brad Thompson hybrid, but I'm not 100% sure. But very crinkly leaves. It's easy to grow, and you don't have to do much to it. It's begonia buttercup. You can see in my container sometimes little ferns start to grow. I don't know where they come from, and little mosses, but they're cute. I leave them till they get too big and then I pull them out. This next plant is one that this kind of gives me fits because I bought this plant. This is Begonia ferox. And maybe a lot of you know Begonia ferox is kind of a rare plant, and it gets bullae on it. Bullaes are little spiky growths on the leaves. Well, mine isn't getting any bullae, and I don't understand why. I found this at a Home Depot in Illinois. I couldn't believe it. It was $15.99, and I grabbed it because they go for a lot more money than that. But this one is not cooperating with the bullae. I don't know if you have to get more of a rhizome to grow up this plant, but I'm just trying it out closer to some light and see if it'll work. By the way, these containers came from the Dollar Tree. They were $3, and then I buy these clear plates for the tops. So check out your Dollar Tree. You can find containers there. The next begonia is Begonia bogneri. Now this is a little bit difficult to grow, but I don't know, it's a tuber. There's a tuber down there. And let me see if I can get it out here. Well, I'm just gonna go like this. It doesn't look like a begonia at all, does it? That's what I love about begonias. They're so diverse. But this little guy, he's getting some yellow leaves. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to look into this. Might need a little bit of water. But this can grow into a nice plant. Gets little tiny white flowers. Begonia bogneri. It's a species from, let's see, I think, hold on a second, let me see. It's a species from Madagascar. Sorry about that. I should keep my notes close at hand. But I've tried it several times and lost it several times. This one seems to be doing well, but I'm going to investigate those dried up leaves there. So, Begonia bogneri. This next one is a begonia from China, and you can read this, Begonia aurantiflora from China. It's a pretty one. I don't know too much about it. I have a feeling it's going to get big, but that's why I can easily move it out of this container and put it in a bigger container. The only problem about some of these begonias that get large is you have to keep upping the container. And if you don't have a lot of room, you can have some pretty giant containers with begonias in them, and they do take up a lot of room. What I like to do is when they kind of outgrow their container, I'll take them to one of the meetings and talk about it and give everybody a leaf, and it'll kind of prune it back a little bit. So that's what you can do. But this is begonia, let's see, aurantiflora from China. It's a nice one, big splotches on the leaves. Okay, this is one of my favorite crowning jewels. This is Begonia bellatifolia. It's from, let's see, it's from Brazil, and it's just gorgeous. I was at a meeting down at the Orange County Begonia Society, and there was a little tiny one on the raffle table. And man, there was a couple people going for this one, and I ended up getting it, so it's just gorgeous. The leaves are so crinkly and thick. I'm going to pull it out so you can see it. It hasn't bloomed for me yet, but I don't care if it blooms. Look at this. Oh my God, I just love it. It's just gorgeous. This was a little tiny plant coming from a leaf, and it's grown like this in maybe 6 or 7 months. But it's just so pretty and thick. I just love to touch it. It's so nice. Begonia bellatifolia. Now this doesn't get spiky bullaes, but it gets these ridges that I guess maybe are kind of quasi-bullaes. But, oh, it's so pretty. I love it. My favorite. This is a couple begonias that have started to get so big. I put them in this fish tank. I think it's like a 5-gallon or something, but these are a couple of my favorites too. Let's see, this is Stoutii, Begonia Stoutii. This gets yellow flowers. I'm so mad I didn't film this when it was all in bloom, but it gets yellow flowers. Look at these leaves. They're just gorgeous. Stoutii. Seems to be pretty easy to grow. You can see it's rhizomatous. And I think everything's a little bit, not dormant, but they have the winter blahs. But it's a gorgeous leaf. Stoutii. And living in the container with Stoutii is, let's see, Begonia U 578. And this is one of the cousins to Begonia Griffon. So this is a U number, which means it's unidentified, and they don't know if it's a species or it's a natural hybrid. But it's a pretty leaf. Got it from my friend Mike, and it's a nice contrast with the pink. Begonia U 578. That's the number that's given when begonias are not identified. Someday, apparently, probably will be, but for now it's U 578. Pretty begonia. Here's another one of my beauties. Oh, this is gorgeous. You can see this is a pretty big bowl. I had to move it up because it's grown so big. This is Begonia U664. It's from Vietnam, species from Vietnam. But you can see how big the leaves are. I don't know how much bigger of a container I can put it in, but I'm going to share some of these leaves with my friends in the different clubs. It's just lovely. Hasn't bloomed yet, but I think the flowers will be white. For some reason, I think they're going to be white. I think I might have seen one at a meeting, but I could tell when I took the top off of this container that it had a little bit of a musty smell. So I'm going to leave the top off for a while and let some carbon dioxide get in there. You know, plants change carbon dioxide into oxygen. If they're always in a contained atmosphere, I always wonder how they get carbon dioxide to work on. So sometimes I'll leave the top off for a while. But you have to be careful because then the plant dries out also, so you have to make sure that you're keeping it moist. But some people blow carbon dioxide into the containers with their mouth because we give off carbon dioxide and the plant gives off oxygen, so you can do that too. But this one smells a little musty, so I'm going to let it dry out for a little bit. But it's just gorgeous, just gorgeous. Nice thick leaves. I like thick leaves. When you have a plant that's thinner leaves, I find that they're a little more difficult. Just like if you have a fern that's got real delicate leaves, sometimes because the wind affects them and they can dry out quicker, but I like the thick leaves. This is Begonia versicolor, and this is just, got a leaf from my friend Don, and it was one leaf, and it started to get, this plant started to grow, so it's a beautiful leaf. Wait till you see it when it gets bigger. Those leaves are just gorgeous. But this is Begonia versicolor. I'm not sure where it's from, but it's really nice. It looks like it's going to be nice and hardy. The leaves are a little thin for me, but we'll see what happens. Begonia versicolor. Okay, this little guy is got from my friend Don again. Royal Luster. You see that? Royal Luster. I think it's also the same as Begonia Small Change, but it's a very small leaf. It's white flowers. It's really cute. I had Begonia Small Change outside, and it looks exactly like this, but this past year I broke my leg, and I had my husband taking care of my plants, and I think Small Change just didn't do as well, but he did a great job with everything. But this looks just like Royal Luster, so it's a hybrid. Royal Luster. Okay, this one here I'm so excited about. I got this on a plant table at one of the meetings, and it was really nice. And I had it home, and within 3 days, it had melted away to nothing. So I went to one of my plant gurus, Don, and asked him, what's going on? I didn't do anything. He said, it's a tuber, and it'll come back. And it did. Look at this, Begonia terraformis. And if you can see real close here, it's going to have some blooms, little pink blooms. But I've had to be a little bit careful because it's getting so tall. So I had to improvise my container. I'll show you what I did. Actually, I can feel when I lift this up that it's a little bit dry. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a drink, and I'll show you what I used to give them a little bit of a drink. This right here. Squirt a little water in there. But I'm so happy with him. Now, isn't that interesting? Look at those leaves compared to the leaves I've already shown you. You can see how diverse begonias are. Begonia terraformis. And Begonia terraformis is from Thailand. So I have to figure out a new top to put on this to keep enough room for this to grow. So I'll have to work on that. But for now, terraformis is going to have to stay in this container till I get a bigger one. Well, as you can see, I improvised here for this plant. I don't know if it's gonna last in there, but I'll probably end up getting a bigger container to put it in. But for now, it has some headroom. Okay, here's one that I got last September at the Sherman Gardens show. It's a great show every year, the weekend after Labor Day, Sherman Gardens in Corona del Mar, California. My little advertisement there. But this is Begonia Montes elephantis. And I think the reason the elephantis is this gets huge. I've seen this plant in other people's terrariums where it's just taken over the whole terrarium. Let me pull it out and show you. It's just interesting. I was a little afraid to get it because I know it gets big, but I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Let me pull it out. Now that's a begonia. Do you believe that? It had some flowers on it. They were pink. See, this feels a little bit light. I'm going to give it a squirt. But it's just an interesting begonia. Like, it's, I think it's a rhizomata. Oh, it might be a tuber. Yeah, might be a tuber. But it's very interesting. It's going to wind its way around. I'll probably have to get another container for that too. But Begonia Montes elephantis. Put him back in there. I'll give him a little squirt because that's the nice thing too about having these plants in containers. When you lift them up, you can tell if they're light on water and need a little bit of a squirt. Okay, this is Begonia hernandioides. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. Hernandioides. It's from it's from Philippines. That last plant, the elephantiasis one, was from Cameroon. This is from the Philippines. Now this, I don't really know what it does. It's kind of plain. It has a nice, very thick leaf, very thick. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's kind of different. We'll see what kind of flower is gonna. I have a damaged leaf here, and I'm contemplating just plucking that off, but I think I will. There. She was like the queen of begonias down there. It's just gorgeous. Look at these flowers. But it needs a terrarium. I've tried to grow this on my sun porch, and it needs some more humidity. Okay, this doesn't look too good, does it? No, and this I grew painstakingly for about a year from a leaf. I don't think it's gonna make it, but this is Abdullah PCI. And it's a pretty plant, but I don't know. We're going to get rid of this guy too. I'm going to leave it in there and see what happens. Don't be too quick to throw things away because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, it's, let's see where it's from. Hang on. Okay, it's from Malaysia, so it should be used to very humid conditions. And you can't get much more humid than the condition in that fish tank. But I'm going to leave it in there and see what happens. But I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay. This is Begonia blanchii or blanchii, however you say it. You can see it's a pretty big leaf. It's very thick. I often pick my plants by the thickness of their leaves because I think it's beneficial to their growing. And also, this one is an epiphyte. It's becoming a little bit too big for the container, which is always, that's my biggest problem with my contained atmosphere plants, is the plants outgrow the container. But what you can always do is trim some leaves away and give them to people so they can grow them on and have new plants of their own. This is Begonia blanchii. Okay, this little guy is Begonia hydrocaudifolia. Begonia hydrocaudifolia. And I just love it, but it's looked like this for about a year now. It's finally getting a new little leaf in there. I have it propped up with a rock, but I just love the leaves, and it's very succulent and thick, like I like them. And Begonia hydrocaudifolia is from Mexico. There's quite a few begonias that come from Mexico. Hydrocaudifolia. I'm not very good at that, but that's it. This plant here is popular. I'm sure you probably, if you're a begonia freak like me, I'm sure you recognize it. This is Begonia Raja, and Raja is from Malaysia, but it's beautiful leaves. The leaves are just gorgeous on this. Doesn't like to get very much bright light. It likes to kind of stay in the shadows. But it's a pretty easy grower, and it will eventually fill this whole glass container. Begonia Raja. This is one of the more unusual begonias, Begonia polygonoides. This is comes from Africa, but it's an epiphyte, and it's very strap-like, the leaves, and it gets little tiny white flowers. It's a nice one to grow. It doesn't require much. But it gets most of its moisture from the air, which is why you should keep the moss in the bottom a little bit damp. And it's a nice one. Polygonoides, it's a species. Most of these are species. If it's not a species, I'll tell you. This is another favorite of begonia lovers. It's Begonia cleopatrae. And that comes from, let's see, I'm looking at my list here, the Philippines. But it's also a very thick leaf, beautiful leaf. It's blooming, little pink flowers. It's nice because I can keep it under control. It doesn't get like a big giant plant. Begonia cleopatrae from the Philippines. Okay, this cutie here is Begonia georgiensis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But that comes from Sumatra. It's got a really pretty backing to the leaf. The leaves are thick, which I like. But you can see it's coming out of the container. I've kind of made a little thing like this to kind of keep it so it has room to grow. But it's a real nice one, georgiensis. This is one of my real special ones. I told you before I have a hard time growing Ferox, but this one is Melana bolata. And it looks like Ferox. It's a little bit different, but I find it to be easier to grow. You can see the bulle on the leaves. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. I have it in this big giant container because it gets kind of tall, but I just love it. Melana bolata. And I believe it's from, where did I say? Vietnam. That's right. Yeah. It does better for me than Ferox. So if that Ferox doesn't start producing something, I'm going to maybe pass it on to somebody who can grow it. But this is Melana bolata. Okay, this guy is huge. I don't know if you can see what a big container this is, but this is a Chlorinura, and it's a Philippine species. It's really pretty. The leaves are just gorgeous. Look at that. But you can see it gets so big. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just overtaken this container. Also, you can see this little moss that's growing on the side. I know it looks kind of weird, but it doesn't harm anything. You just wipe it off with a napkin. But this is a really, really pretty one. Seems to be easy to grow, and it likes whatever I'm doing, but it's kind of outgrowing its container. I'm going to have to look into some more containers to get, to move him up. I only have two plants that are not begonias in my terrarium collection. This one is Syngonium nephitis. And it's a tiny syngonium. Isn't that cute? Got that from my friend Dawn. It's just a little miniature and it loves it in there. By the way, all my containers do have lids, and you can get these plates at the Dollar Tree. I think they're $1.25, but they fit right on top, as you can see. Makes a perfect lid. But this little syngonium is just really cute. Love it. Okay, here's a cute little one. This is Begonia Red Planet. This is a hybrid, but it's very tiny leaves. Gets little pink flowers. I really love it. Now, some people grow this outside of a contained atmosphere, but I started it in there and it seems to like it, so I'm just leaving it in there. And it's not, hasn't outgrown its home, so I'm just going to leave it in there, I think. But it's Begonia Red Planet. Okay, this one is Begonia U304. I'm trying to get a good angle here. But it's very thick leaf, and it has that right where the petiole meets the leaf. Would you consider that paltate? I don't know, but this it's very pretty. Hairy stems. Just a really prominent little eyeball there. This is Begonia U304. U304. Unidentified species number 304. Okay, this is Begonia Scapigera. And I didn't know this was a rare one, but I saw it at a show and everybody was oohing and eyeing over it. And I thought, oh, I have that. So Scapigera is kind of a unusual one. It's from Africa. Thick leaves again, like I like. It's a small leaf, and it seems to like it. It's enjoying all the moss around the bottom, but you have to clean the moss off the glass every now and then, but they live together. So this is Scapigera from Africa. Okay, this one it's one of those ones that, do I want to keep it? Do I like it? I guess I like it. It's a long name. Let's see. Luz heinzensis. Luz heinzensis. And that one is from, let's see, that's from China. It's a little tiny one, a little leaf, so it'll be in that container for a while, but we're going to let it go and see what happens. I don't believe it's bloomed yet, but I'm assuming pink flowers. But it's kind of a cute one. Thick leaves like I like. Okay, this is a real sweetie. This is Begonia aurantiflora from China. And I'm going to put the camera up here. You can see spots on its leaves, hairy leaves. It looks like it's going to outgrow this container, but it does get orange flowers. Hasn't bloomed for me yet. I think it's a little too immature, but it's a really nice one from China. Aurantiflora. Okay, here's some in bloom. This is Begonia prismaticarpa variegata from China. I got a little piece of this from my friend Dawn, and it's grown into this lovely little plant. It's just so sweet. You can see the leaves are very small. Prismaticarpa variegata. No, it's pretty hard to find, but Dawn gave me a little piece, and look what's taken off. So I'll share some of these pieces here when I go to a begonia meeting, give some of my friends some pieces. That's what you have to do to keep everything going, because if you don't, you lose it, you're out of luck. Okay, this is a really sweet one. The name of this begonia is Begonia Vankerek hovenii. It's from Africa. Very tiny leaves, tiny, tiny leaves. And look at these flowers. Little teeny flowers. It's really cute, but it's taking over this container. You can see it's kind of growing like a column. I have to take this in and share some pieces too, because it's gonna break the glass one of these days. And you can see these little ferns that grow in here. they just come in on the moss. So a lot of times I don't use moss anymore, I use stones, but I think it's cute. I leave them till they get too invasive, and then I just pull them out. They come out easy. But this is Banker Rechovenii from Africa. A cute little plant, and it blooms a lot. This is the end of the blooming. I'm so glad one of these blooms opened. This is Begonia ignita. And Begonia ignita is from, let's see, Indonesia. But look at the orange flowers. Oh, I'm so glad it bloomed so you could see. And look at the leaves. They're just gorgeous, and they look like they've been ignited. Begonia ignita. Really a good plant. Nice looking plant. That one is desirable too. I believe it won Best in Show at the last Dallas Begonia show. I might be mistaken, but it's a very nice plant. Steve's Leaves has it. Okay, this one I can't find the tag in here, but I think it's Begonia U074. It's a really pretty leaf. It's been blooming. It's finished blooming, really. Yeah, I think it's U074. I can't find the label, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Really a nice begonia. Fits right in there. One thing I wanted to add about this, when you're buying containers, try and find the containers with the biggest opening on the top. So whatever, if you're going to keep your plant in a little pot like this, you can fit it in there. If you have a beautiful container but a little tiny opening, it's hard to keep your plant in a container. You might have to plant it directly in there. But if you want to do it the way I do it, look for these big openings. Okay, I'm sorry, this is U074. They kind of look alike, so I'm gonna I don't know what happened to the label. That stuff like that drives me nuts. But okay, this is cute. It's a little one, U074. Really a nice plant. Looks like it's gonna stay little, so probably can stay in that container. I like to go around and trim some of the leaves off the bottom, so it gives it a little more breathing room. U074. Okay, this is the other plant that I have in a contained atmosphere that's not a begonia. This is a mouthful. Let's see. Where did that name go? Napa Chaptera pachyphylla. And I believe it is a form of a philodendron, but it's mini. So I put this little stake in here for it to grow on. It's so cute. Can't wait till it just covers this whole thing. Little tiny mini leaves. Very cute. Love it. I got this plant from my friend Al, and now he wants a piece of it back, so something tells me he must have lost his, but of course I will give him a piece. It's so cute. My last two plants I want to show you, these are not in a contained atmosphere. This is one from Steve's Leaves, Libby Lee. It gets these tiny leaves. I love these ones with little tiny leaves. They're just very cute. This one is from Steve's Leaves too. And here we go. This is Autumn Twist. Isn't that cute? If you like the orangey colors, Steve's Leaves has this one, Autumn Twist. The leaves are small. So there you have my terrarium collection. And I'll see you again. I'll put something out in the spring on my rhizomatous once they start growing, and I'll see you then. Bye.